Today, I'll be covering the show Infinite Stratos. Ichika Orimura is a normal teenage boy who just enrolled in high school, which happens to be the famed IS Academy, an all-female educational institute to teach the students to operate the multi-purpose exoskeletons called Infinite Stratos. In adverse of what normal boys would find paradise, Ichika finds himself very discomforted being the center of attention in a girls-only class and to the world for being the first male to activate an IS, which can only be operated by females. Ichika tries to get through the first day with his sister, Shifuyu Orimura, as his homeroom teacher. He goes through a rough reunion with his childhood friend, Haoki Shinanono, who becomes his current roommate. The following day, when his class votes him to be their class representative, the British cadet representative Cecilia Alcott is against it and challenges him to an IS duel. Ichika is told by Shifuyu that he will be provided with his own personal IS for his match against Cecilia, a rarity since there are only 467 IS cores that were created by Tebane Shinanono, Haoki's older sister, before she disappeared. To prepare himself, Haoki agrees to train Ichika by practicing kendo. On the day of the match, Ichika is given the IS Bayakashiki against Cecilia's IS Blue Tears. Cecilia has the advantage at the beginning as her IS is a sniper, while Ichika is a close-range fighter, but Ichika manages to transform his IS into First Shift, the IS second form, and pulls out an energy sword. Just as Ichika is about to strike Cecilia, the match is declared over and Cecilia the winner because Ichika's energy sword completely depleted his IS shields. Despite losing, Ichika agrees to train more with Haoki, while Cecilia is unsure of herself despite winning the match. Cecilia takes a liking to Ichika and gives the position of class representative to him instead as an apology for acting childish in the 2 previous episodes, much to Haoki's chagrin. The next day, Ichika meets Lingyan, the new transfer student from China who also happens to be his childhood friend and also the class representative of her class. After Ichika and Lingyan get reacquainted with each other, Haoki and Cecilia get jealous and coach Ichika in his practice very hard. Upon learning Haoki is Ichika's roommate, Lingyan tries to get Haoki to let her become his roommate instead, which Haoki refuses. But Lingyan later leaves in anger after Ichika doesn't figure out the childhood promise they made and wants to settle it in the inter-class IS tournament, with his match against Lingyan and her IS Shenlong. Next, Ichika prepares himself. Ichika and Lingyan battle in the inter-class IS tournament, but their match is interrupted when Mysterious IS attacks the arena. As the two hold off the IS so the audience can escape, they soon realize the IS is an unmanned drone due to its machine-like behavior. Together with Cecilia, the 3 of them manage to defeat the IS, but not before it injures Ichika. As Ichika recovers while Lingyan watches over him, Ichika wonders the promise he made with Lingyan had a different meaning, which the latter quickly denies. Meanwhile, Shifuyu and Maya examines the defeated IS and confirms is an unmanned IS drone with a unique IS core that didn't come from the 467 confirmed cores the world has, which makes them question who made it. Ichika is currently at his friend's place playing video games. Dan Gotenna says that Ichika must be having a great time at IS Academy, being around all the girls there. Ichika said that he's not, which Dan retorted that he's lying, saying that just reading his email makes him imagine a paradise. Ichika remarked that Dan is an idiot, but is glad that Lingyan transferred over as he had very few friends to talk to. Suddenly, the door crashes open due to Dan's sister Ran kicking the door open. She starts saying that lunch is ready and that he should go and eat soon when she sees Ichika and suddenly gets nervous. Ichika smiles and apologizes for the sudden visit. Ran stood at the door staring at him for a while before looking at her own attire, mainly a loose top and unzipped shorts, showing a bit of her panties. Embarrassed, Ran ducks behind the wall and tidies herself up before popping her head around the door and asks why is Ichika at their place. He replies that he is currently on an off-campus vacation and that he decided to drop in while checking on the status of his house. As Ran nervously confirms, Dan offhandedly said that she should knock next time, otherwise people might consider her to be a shameless woman, only to be frightened by her angry expression and her fist sporting the protruding nerve mark, while she asks why didn't he tell her about Ichika's arrival. He nervously says that it may have slipped his mind and gave a weak chuckle, while Ichika looks on puzzled. The next scene is at their restaurant, where Ran is serving Ichika lunch. As he is tucking in, she nervously says to make himself at home. Ichika remarks that she has changed her clothing, looking very prime and proper, and asks if she is going out. When she tries to say that it is not, Ichika had a sudden notion that she is going out on a date, which she abruptly says that it is not. Seeing Ichika's expression, Dan, while drinking his tea, remarks that he must be acting the same way at school. When Ichika asks what does Dan mean, he only replied that he feels bad for Lingyan as well. Haoki has been given her own room by Maya and leaves in anger when Ichika is being dense about it, but makes him promise to go out with her should she win the interclass tournament, which spreads into a rumor that the winner of the tournament gets a date with Ichika. At the same time, a transfer student, another male, is pilot from France named Charles Dunois, arrives much to the joy of the girls of the academy due to Charles' Bishonen looks and interests with Ichika, who also becomes Ichika's new roommate. While Ichika's class has his practice with Lingyan's class, Shifu has Lingyan and Cecilia battle against Maya in a Raphael Revive Is. A second generation is made by Charles' father's corporation, which Maya easily defeats Lingyan and Cecilia's more advanced Is. While Ichika is having lunch with Haoki, Lingyan, Cecilia, and Charles, the girls try to give Ichika their lunches, of which he enjoys Haoki's best and feeds some of it to her, much to the other girls' anger. The next day, another transfer student from Germany named Laura Bodwig, an acquaintance of Shifu's, arrives much to the surprise of the class. Laura immediately walks to Ichika and slaps him, declaring she will not recognize him as Shifu's brother. Next, Haoki, Rin, and Cecilia are attempting to give Ichika some pointers at the same time, which Ichika has trouble understanding. Afterwards, Charles requested a practice battle with Ichika. After losing against him in a practice bout, Ichika has a training session with Charles, which is interrupted by Laura, who wants to fight him, but refuses. Angry at his refusal, Laura fired a beam of energy at Ichika, which Charles blocks. As the situation was getting more tense, instructors came to stop it from getting any worse. In the changing room after the unlucky confrontation, Ichika commented on Charles' strange behavior concerning changing or showering anywhere close to him. When Ichika was being too persistent, Charles ran out of the changing room, letting out a wail. On his way back, he spots Laura talking with Shifu, begging her to return to Germany, and that the Is Academy doesn't deserve her, but the latter doesn't listen. It is revealed when Ichika was kidnapped during the second Mondo Grosso Is Championship, Shifu forfeit the finals in order to rescue him. Upon returning to his dorm, Ichika walks in on Charles in the shower to discover he is actually a girl. Charles reveals she is her father's illegitimate daughter who was taken in after her mother passed away and made an Is test pilot. She also revealed that her real name was Charlotte, but when the Dunois Corporation entered a financial crisis due to the demand for third-generation ice, Charlotte was ordered to act as a boy to give the company publicity and steal data from Ichika. Sympathizing with her due to his parents abandoning him and Shifu, Ichika decides to keep Charlotte's secret, as she'll be safe at the Is Academy due to diplomatic immunity. Their conversation was interrupted by Cecilia, who invited Ichika to dinner. Much to Ichika and more so to Cecilia's dismay, Haoki joined the two of them. Once Ichika came back, he brought back dinner for Charlotte to eat. Realizing that she can't use chopsticks, Ichika proceeded to feed her. Meanwhile, Laura, who blames Ichika for blemishing Shifu's record, removes her eye patch, revealing a golden left eye, and swears revenge on him. Haoki becomes pressured to win the upcoming interclass tournament after her attempt to ask Ichika out escalated into a rumor that whoever wins the tournament gets to date him. As Cecilia and Lingyan prepare to spar, Laura appears and goads them into a 2-on-1 battle, effortlessly countering all their attacks. When she continues to beat them at the risk of their lives, Ichika and Charles step in to rescue them before Shifu puts a stop to the battle, declaring it will be settled in the interclass tournament. It is soon announced that the tournament will be conducted in pairs, with Ichika choosing Charles as his partner. On the day of the interclass tournament, it is decided via lottery that Haoki is to be paired with Laura. The match between Ichika and Charles against Laura and Haoki begins where Laura focuses on fighting Ichika and pays no heed to her partner Haoki, who is soon knocked out by Charles. Ichika and Charles uses their teamwork to take advantage of Laura's AIC shield to defeat her despite Ichika's shields running low after using Yukihira. With her defeat imminent, Laura reminisces her past to being a failed genetically engineered soldier unable to adapt and is until meeting her teacher and role model Shifu, but hates Ichika upon learning Shifu shows her softer side because of him. Not wanting to give up, Laura goes berserk, which transforms her Is into a large, dark Is. Wanting to stop her, Charlotte gives her remaining Is power to Ichika to manifest Yukihira and uses it to strike the dark Is and free Laura. Laura's mutation begins. As Laura recovers and learns who Ichika fights for, Shifu explains what caused her Is to go berserk and consoles Laura to not follow in her footsteps, but to choose her own path and be who she really wants to be. Despite the interclass tournament being cancelled, Ichika decides to go out with Haoki. Later, at the newly opened boys' public bath, Charles tells Ichika that she will stay at the academy under her real gender and name, Charlotte. When the class learns the truth about Charlotte, Lingyan in anger arrives to punish Ichika, but is saved by Laura. However, Laura suddenly kisses Ichika in front of the girls and tells him he is going to be her wife, much to the shock of everyone. Haoki calls her sister, who reveals she has completed and is called Akatsubaki just for her. After being hassled in the morning by a naked Laura, who somehow sneaked in his room and walked in on by Haoki and whacked around by a kendo shinai / practice sword, Ichika goes with Charlotte to the mall to buy swimsuits for their beach studies session, while Lingy and Cecilia and Laura stalks them. When Charlotte notices them following her, she hides with Ichika in the dressing room to show off her swimsuit, but they are both discovered by Chifu and Maya. During the beach study session, the girls try to get close with Ichika with various results. As sunset arrives, Chifu talks with Haoki about Tabane and believes her sister will come with the Akatsubaki on July 7. After catching the girls eavesdropping at her room while Ichika is massaging her, Chifu has a talk with the girls about their feelings for her brother and gives them some advice. The next day, Haoki's eccentric sister Tabane Shinano arrives to deliver Haoki's personal is the Akatsubaki, a fourth generation is with abilities far more advanced than the others. However, Chifu soon receives news that an unmanned US/Israeli, it's called the Silver Gospel, has gone out of control. After assessing the situation, Chifu orders Ichika and the girls to stop it while Ichika and Haoki will pursue it as only their eyes are fast enough to catch up with the Silver Gospel. As Ichika and Haoki begin their operation, the others notice how happy Haoki looks, which prompts Chifu to tell Ichika to watch over her carefully. As Ichika and Haoki engage in battle with the Silver Gospel and is about to corner it, Ichika notices an illegal fishing boat in the area and breaks off formation to protect it. Haoki is angry at Ichika for ruining the plan, but he scolds her for disregarding the boat's safety, which is something she never does. However, the Silver Gospel launches a surprise attack on them, which forces Ichika to shield himself to protect Haoki. As the critically injured Ichika is admitted, Haoki blames herself on what happened and wants to quit being an A's pilot, but Cecilia, Lingyan, Charlotte, and Laura manages to convince her otherwise. Together, they decide to defy Chifu's orders to stand by and go after the Silver Gospel themselves. While the girls fight the Silver Gospel, Ichika has a dream where he meets a young girl and a warrior woman in the White Knight is, who asks him if he wants strength, which he agrees as he wants to protect his comrades. As the battle continues to rage, Haoki manages to cut one of the Silver Gospel's wings and sees it fall into the ocean only for it to re-emerge in its second shift form with angel wings and proceeds to take down Haoki and the rest. Haoki is soon awakened by Ichika, who is now in Byakushiki's second shift form. Byakushiki Setsura and gives Haoki a hair ribbon as a gift as he still remembers July 7th is her birthday. With their combined strengths, Ichika and the girls finally defeat the Silver Gospel, with Ichika giving it the finishing blow. As they return back to their hotel, Chifu scolds them for defying orders but allows them some R&R as a reward for stopping the Silver Gospel. At a seaside cliff, Chifu has a talk with Tabane and believes she was the one who made Ichika the only male to pilot an Is and was behind the incident that discovered it, but Tabane reveals what happened with Ichika was a coincidence, but admits she was the one responsible for hacking the Silver Gospel to go berserk in order to debut Haoki's Is to the world before Tabane vanishes. At the beach, Haoki apologizes to Ichika for his injuries and admits her feelings for him. As they are about to kiss, the other girls arrive, angry at what they are seeing, which forces Ichika to run away with Haoki in his arms from the other girls who proceed to attack him. Thank you for watching.